Okay, cool. I am so excited to talk about stuff tonight. I want to apologize for, y'all know postpartum hair loss is like real, right? Because look at this. I don't know what that is, but we're just going to pretend it's not there and that this is all not. So if you're a mom, you understand. If you're not, God bless your hair because mine is a hot freaking mess since I have Rylan, but it's all right because we love him. So anyways, I am so excited to chat tonight. I wanted to do tonight a little bit different. I feel like we have focused a lot lately on mindset, and not that that's bad in any way at all. I think that the mindset is the core of your business, but I feel like the last couple months we've kind of talked a lot about mindset and a lot of self-development. And I feel like almost, and maybe you guys can tell me if you ever feel the same way, but whenever I spend too much time doing mindset, it's almost like I block myself. I kind of sit there and I'm like, okay, I can't do any more. Like if I keep doing more, like, I don't know how to really explain it, but have you ever felt that way before where you're just like sitting down, you're listening to like 7 podcasts and you're like, if I just keep pouring into myself, it's going to click. Like something has to click, something has to change. Like, let me burn my incense over here or have my oils over here or whatever it is that I'm doing. And I'm just like, something's going to click and it's all just going to like make sense if I just grow my brain or my mindset or I grow my confidence or whatever it is. I used to think that, and I would sit down and I would spend hours on self-development and I got burnt out. And again, mindset control and having that bulletproof mindset and having that routine of self-development for you is key. But I feel like the last couple weeks, the last couple months, we've poured very, very heavy into mindset. And I feel like we're almost at that point as a tribe where you have the resources for it, right? You know how to find podcasts. If you don't, reach out to your upline. Like we have tons and tons of trainings on mindset in general and talking about if you want it, go do it, right? That I feel like if I tell you guys that anymore, I'm going to lose my mind, right? Like, I feel like I'm just going to be like, okay, I feel like I've said the same thing over and over for the last 1,700 weeks. And I'm kind of like, there's no other words for me to use to say things. So I wanted to switch things up a little bit. And I was talking to a couple of my leaders last night, a couple of my babes who are on their way to hitting 40K. And I told them, and I said, I want to get practical. If you've been on this tribe for a while, whether you've been on my downline or anybody else's downline, because I opened this up to not just my downline, for everybody who wants to hop on and get some Lynn's love is what we call it, because we agreed. I got yelled at for calling it tough love and we changed it to Lynn's love. So you're more than welcome every single Monday. But I want to get back to the basics. I want to get back to practical. I want to get back to how, basically. We say, I'm going to teach you how, right? Okay, well, let's show you how. Let's show all of our new babes that are joining us how. Instead of just saying, okay, well, if they come to you and they're unsure, instead of saying we need to work on that mindset, why don't we do it together? We say, okay, so you're struggling in stories. Let's make some stories together. Right? Doesn't that kind of click a little bit different than throwing a self-development podcast at somebody? If somebody comes and or you go to your upline and you say, I need help. I can't, captions just aren't my thing. I'm struggling with words. I don't know my 5s. I'm struggling with identifying my 5s. I'm struggling with IPAs. I'm struggling making stories. I'm struggling growing my network. We've all heard this, right? Or we've said this. If you're struggling with that, would you rather somebody sit down and say, okay, what is it that you are really struggling with? Let's break it down for you. And if you say, I'm struggling with stories, okay, great. Let me do, and if you're in my downline, and I also shared it in the overall team page, but I did videos, step by step, how to make Instagram stories, basic ones. How to copy and paste, how to make backgrounds of text, how to use the free Instagram app to to make stories, because that's all I do. I'm not, if you're not new around here, you know, I am no tech-a-weenie. I am not good at apps. If I have to do 7 things to make one story, I'm out. You know how many times Christina Brill has made stories for me? Like, I am out, peace out, because I'm just like, that is so technical. So if I can show you how I can do it at 200K and still enroll and still constantly be on leaderboards for enrollments without using any fancy apps, with just using everything that's free, that's at our fingertips, I'm going to show you. Right? Same goes for growing your network. Same goes for finding your fives. If you're struggling, reach out to your enroller and just say, hey, can you help me with this? Right? And if you have somebody on your team that comes to you and says this, I want you to sit down and I want you to actually create it with them. There's a reason that why when somebody joins me and I tag them in my fives video, I say, I will make these lists with you. I tag them and I say, watch this, but I'm going to make these with you. There's a reason that I do that. And it's because when you can get practical with somebody and break it down, it's going to click so much quicker, and it's going to equal them feeling like they're succeeding more. It doesn't mean more enrollments or anything like that, but just feeling like they have a handle on it. Because when you join this business, it's overwhelming. Shoot, I'm almost 3 years in, and there's days where I'm like, holy Aunt Jemima, like, whew, I'm overwhelmed, right? So I can only imagine what it's like, a new person coming into our team page, a new person being added into our Work With Me Zooms, a new person being added into Zooms. Take a step back and say, okay, instead of mindset focus, which, and I'm not saying to step away from mindset, but I am saying separate them. Do some practicals, and that's probably my nursing side coming out, practicals. Do some actual like one-on-one training, as in let's make you stories. Let's work on your content. Let's work on your fives. Let's work on an IPA list for you. Because guess what? An IPA list, I might share in my team page or my team chat every single morning, basically the same IPAs, right? But if that's overwhelming for you and you come to me, and I've had many people come to me and say this, that they don't know how to start, they don't know how to tackle it, they're struggling finishing their IPAs. And what do I say? What are your 3 non-negotiables? And I see heads going like this because I've probably said that to you before. Or if you're having a rough time right now and you're like, I'm struggling to get an entire round of IPAs down. Or the other side of it of, I do IPAs till my thumbs are so numb I can't even hold my phone anymore. I've heard that before too. Step away from it and pick your 3 non-negotiables. Break it down to where you're doing 1 round a day or 3 non-negotiables a day, and then working your business from there of being in your stories, doing interactions, make it fun again. If you are taking things so literal and you are sitting here and you're like, I didn't follow 10 people. I only did 9. Like, honey, you followed people. That's a win in my book. Give yourself grace, know where you're at. So I just really wanted, that's not what this whole training is about tonight, but I really wanted to kind of touch on that, because moving forward, the next couple Mondays, I have planned out with some amazing leaders on our tribe, some practical trainings. So if you're wondering like where all the mindset is, I promise we're not stepping away from that, but we are getting more on the practical side, because I feel like we understand self-development, right? Like, if somebody is struggling with some self-development, reach out to me, reach out to your enroller and let them know, right? But I feel like when you join somebody, and if you joined me, every single one of my opportunity stories says, I'm going to teach you how, right? How many people on here have made an opportunity story and they're saying, I'm going to teach you how, or let me show you how? I see hands going up like crazy. It's time that we show people how. And yes, it's self-development, but it's also breaking it down and walking through one-on-one and helping our new people. So with that being said, I want to do things a little bit different tonight. Instead of you guys listening to my gift of gab, I am going to share the gift of gab and the floor with some amazing amazing babes on our tribe. And I'm going to start actually with Lindsay Mitchell, just because she's literally, your square is right to the right of me. And I've been talking to you this whole time. It's great. Do you guys ever do that when like you're talking to one person? Cause if you look at everyone else, you're going to like zone out and forget what you want to say. Yes, it happens to me every week. I pick one person. Lindsay, you were it tonight. So hello. But I wanted to, and I'm going to talk to Linz, Jenna, and Haley. And I see all of you guys on my screen, so it's perfect, because literally right next to Lindsay is Haley, and right next to Haley is Jenna, so it's perfect. We're going to go down the line. It's great. But they each have different stories. But more than that, they each overcame obstacles by doing things, not just by growing their minds. They actually put the work behind it and the basically practical trainings into action. So they're on here every single week and they're applying it. And so I want to start with Linz, because she is not only a 12K leader on our tribe, but she was so anti doing another company when she found me, and she just wanted to use the products, and then she joined, and now she is a 12K, and she just went in like 20 days on her husband's account, went 4K and earned that $1,000 shopping spree. Like she's kicking butt. Like she is more than halfway to, or close to more than halfway to 40K. Like she is going to be one of our team's 40K leaders here very, very soon. But what I wanted her to kind of touch on is the how. And again, I didn't tell them what we were going to talk about tonight, and everybody's question is a little bit different. So bear with me. This is in true Linz form, putting everybody on the spot. But Linz, I want to ask you how did that transition of working 9 to 5, coming home, leaving your 9 to 5, and not only that, homeschooling, right? Time blocking. How? Can you kind of talk and touch base on what your schedule looks like, how you're doing things, how you're separating and giving yourself the grace and the time, but kicking ass at the same exact time? Because I think this has been one of your largest months since you've joined me. So
Yeah, definitely. So I can say that the whole time that because I was, I was working a 9 to 5 for 8 months while doing Thrive. So my schedule during that time looked obviously a lot different than the schedule that I have now, with a lot more free time, which I will say takes a ton of discipline, self-discipline, because when you have more time, you need to make sure that you're being productive. So I'm going to start by kind of talking about what it looked like when I was working my 9 to 5, because that was when it was really, it was two different kind of crazies. It was crazy then and it was crazy now. And it's kind of, I'm working through it differently. So when I was working at my 9 to 5, things were just crazy. My husband's a firefighter. He doesn't just work 24-hour shifts. He works doubles, sometimes triples. We have 2 kids. One is almost 6. So working a 9 to 5 was really, really hard with someone who it's like either mom was home or either dad was home. And then I was trying to fit this business in, because I had this huge goal and this huge vision that I knew what it took, but it was kind of figuring it out and feeling it out how to get there. So as far as working, getting up and having to go through all the craziness of having a full-time job and doing this, it was kind of, I'm not going to lie, it was a lot of feeling it out at first, and that's okay, because I knew I wasn't going to master it at first. But I did, obviously, I was plugging myself into trainings. I was really grinding hard at first, I would say, because I wanted to do all the things. And it was almost like too many things. I couldn't figure out what was best for me, because I was like, I think I need to do all these trainings, and I think I need to do all of the self-development, and I think I need to do. It was just too much. And so there was a time where I almost felt kind of in my head. And I remember the day I was sitting at the kitchen table with my husband. And I remember, because I texted Linz. Linz had sent me a necklace for I think it was when I hit 4K, and it was the date that I had joined, and I still have it and I love it. It means so much to me. But I remember it almost got me in the feels. I was like, man, like I'm doing so much right now. And I was talking to my husband, and I'm like, is this like the end game? Like, am I going to have to do all these things constantly, like 24/7 and drive myself crazy? Because again, it was my full-time job. It was being home. It was trying to make my kids happy, my husband happy, and doing all the things and trying to succeed in the business. And so I would say it was kind of taking a step back and seeing what things were actually working for me and just kind of doing it step by step, little by little. And that was what the pace that I needed. And really, doing all the things isn't going to work for everybody. Doing all the things doesn't really work for anybody. Honestly, you have to see what works for you and kind of apply it to your certain areas and then kind of see how it falls together. So I would say that was a big thing for me with all the chaos, because I can't do chaos. When there's too many things happening, I just shut down. I'm like, I can't even get through this. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to look at it. I can't look at my phone right now. It's too much. So if you feel like you're in that kind of a place, you just have to take a step back, go, see what's working for you and do it. So now, I mean, and I got through it, obviously. I found what worked for me. And by the grace of God, I was able to quit my 9 to 5, something that I was totally like just a dream that became a reality. So trying to shift from the the chaos of the 9 to 5 to the at-home life. So stay-at-home mom life and trying to get the homeschool stuff ready to go. I've really had to figure out how time blocking works into that, because I can't like schedule a time to do something every single day. I can't replicate that every single day because I have kids who have different needs every single day. My husband's schedule is not the same every single day, but I do make sure that I'm consistent in ways that I can be consistent. So again, non-negotiables, doing a solid round of IPAs in the morning before the kids get up so that I know that I have it done. And then whatever happens in the middle, I can just kind of fit it into the different pockets of the day. I try not to be on my phone all day, because that's something I told myself, if I was going to be home and I was going to be in front of my kids, I wasn't going to stick to my phone all day. That's not why I decided to be home. It wasn't to be on my phone in front of my children. So I do have to be diligent about getting things done. Like, again, self-discipline, getting up in the morning, doing my round of IPAs before I'm kind of getting wrapped into the groove of things of the morning. And then, fitting in, obviously, things in my stories. I do like to keep up in my stories and kind of pop in there and have that be something throughout my day. It's something fun for me. If you guys can make that a fun thing for you and not be so scared of stories, it actually becomes really fun. That's one of my things I really enjoyed doing. Even when I was at work, I mean, pulling up my phone really quick and snapping a pic of a freaking car at the car dealership. I mean, whatever it is, it's something that I was able to do and to work into kind of my daily life. But again, it's hard with kids that are always around you, a 1-year-old and almost 6-year-old. But as far as the how, it's just not being afraid to see what works for you and trying some different things. And if you feel overwhelmed, it's okay to take a step back and reevaluate kind of your schedule and the way that you're doing things. And yeah, I mean, I hope I answered that question. I don't know.
No, you did. Thank you. That's kind of why I didn't have a lot of details. I don't have details in my questions. Why? Because I feel like when you ask somebody and you give them just like how or why, what's on their heart and what's on their mind of what they really want to say is what they're going to say. And they're not going to worry about the details of the question. So for me, if you're new to the Lynn's life, I am very vague with questions, and I never tell anybody that does a training with me what we're talking about or what we're going to do, because I feel like when you're just asked a question, you don't have time to think about it, it's the true answer. And to me, that speaks volume. So what I got out of that, which I love, is the non-negotiables and the importance of staying true to why you started this. If you feel like you're on your phone 24/7, It's probably because you're on your phone 24/7. If you don't want to be on your phone 24/7, get off your dang phone. I can tell you this right now. I didn't go 200K by my phone like this in my face. I didn't. I went 200K by living my life. That's literally, I didn't hit bonuses because my phone was right here 24/7 and I was ignoring my family. I went and I earned bonuses and I hit 200K because me and my family, we were living our lives, and I was taking moments to share that, but I wasn't spending the entire time on my phone. I was taking different moments. Like when I go to the splash pad with Rylan, snap a quick picture, put it on my story, good for a couple hours. You get what I mean? Take moments out of those times to share, and then put your phone down, because I'm going to tell you what, if somebody's going to message you and ask you something, they're going to be there in an hour. They're going to be there in 2 hours. It's not going to matter whether you respond to them like that or in an hour or 2 hours. For the non-negotiables, the biggest thing, and why, and I had a feeling that Linz was going to say that, just because of conversations I've had with her of, if you feel like doing IPAs all day long is all that you're doing, I want you to pick your 3 non-negotiables. The first 3 things that pop into your mind. For me, it's my stories, it's interacting, and it's growing my network. And when I say my 3 non-negotiables, obviously I do rounds of IPAs and I do a round of IPAs, but my non-negotiables are what I do throughout the day. I'm not sitting here doing, okay, I finished this round of IPAs. Okay, now let me go to the top and work my way down again. Okay, let me go to the top and work my way. I personally don't do that. And I'm not saying that if you do, it's wrong, because the beauty of this business is I will never tell you that anything you do is wrong, because it's your business and how you grow. And if you're succeeding, then guess what? That is right for you. For me in my life, it didn't work. I have an almost 1-year-old who thinks that every time I'm on a phone or a laptop, it's his and he needs to like grab it. And let me tell you, he's strong. So he's very good at breaking things, and he is not soft. So he will chuck that thing. So for me, my non-negotiables are huge. When I do them, I sometimes even will spend an entire day just interacting. Then the next day after I do a round of IPAs, I spend the entire day growing my network. And I'm not saying the entire day like this. I'm saying when I have 3 minutes and I'm peeing and I'm on my phone, I'm growing my network. Then my phone is done, right? So it's whatever following I can get while I'm peeing, right? That's what I do. And then the next day I do 3, 2, 1s on all the new people. So do you see how you can make your non-negotiables work for you? My top ones are, like I said it a second ago, but my top ones are my stories, using my stories throughout the day, interactions, growing my network, and then 3, 2, 1 would be my top 4. And my stories I use every single day. And then I do switch off between the other 3 non-negotiables, and I'll do a round of IPAs in the morning. Then when I start my day, I'll spend the day doing interactions, and the next day I'll spend it doing following. And then the next day I'll do 3, 2, 1s on all those new followers. So step back, try new things, do things different than you're doing. If you feel like you've been in this for a while and you're constantly going down the list and then going down the list and then going down the list and then going down the list, and by the end of the day, you're like, if I have to stare at my phone for 5 more minutes, I'm going to chuck it out the window. It's because you're probably on your phone entirely way too much. But that's just me personally. If that is how you feel like you accomplish things and how you feel that it's good for you, do it. Anything I say is never to replace what you're doing. It's just to tell you guys and show you guys how I do it, which is what I want to spend much more time doing in the next couple months. So my next lovely, lovely person that I want to talk about and talk to is Haley. Haley hit her VIPs, went 4K, hit her VIP on her fiance, and is so dang close to 4K on his account this month and earning that $1,000 shopping spree. And this is her second month in the business, I want to say, second month. So I wanted to touch base and kind of pull her on, not because, and like I said, everybody's story is different. Lynn's followed me forever, refused to join the business, tried the products, loved the products, then went slow and decided that she was going to do it different than before. She's a 12K leader now, and it didn't happen overnight, right? It didn't happen overnight. Haley had that fast success, right? it happened, but now she's experiencing the, what do I do now that I've kind of talked to my market, right? So I want to talk to, well, I want you to kind of talk about, and again, nobody knew what I was going to ask them. I love putting people on the spot. Hey, hi, hello. But I want you to kind of talk about, because you texted me last week and you said, I feel like I kind of touched my market. So I want you to talk about, because I still notice you've enrolled. I've still noted you're still working your business. You haven't stopped. And that's kind of why I wanted, I thought of you when I thought of this, is because you haven't stopped a single second. And I want you to kind of talk about how you have shifted from going 4K, earning your VIPs, earning your VIP on your fiance, and now running towards 4K on his account and 12K on yours. How have you shifted from the first 14 days? Hold on, let me unmute you. I forget. I think I have to ask your, okay, go for it.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. So yeah, like Lynn said, I started out, so I previously worked with another company, and was not getting like any success at all. So when Sam Brown, who I'm enrolled under, well, kind of, I always followed her stories and posts about Thrive, and it always kind of had me interested. So I finally reached out to her and I was like, I'm going to actually just try the products out first, and then see how it goes. So I think it was about a month and it was time for me to reorder. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the switch. And sorry, I'm like so sidetracked. And I see the chat. But I was like, I'm going to go ahead and make the switch and see how it goes with promoting. So I started, and I kind of went in with the mindset of, I don't know how I'm going to do in this business, but I'm still going to do everything that they're telling me because they look like they're being successful. So the first week I was on every chat. I was doing probably 4-5 rounds of IPAs a day. I was like on top of it. People probably were so tired of seeing my stories and everything, but that's what I thought I needed to do, which, I mean, it was good for me because I think it was maybe 9 days in, I had hit my VIP 800, and then right on my 14th day, hit my VIP 1600. And to hit that, I signed up my fiance as a promoter. So then I knew I was going to be kind of taking over his account too. So I kind of did the same with his. I just not been like super, like with his social media, post and post and post, and I still do it to mine. And then when I enroll people, I just kind of use both of ours. So that was all within like the first, well, then I hit all his VIPs. So it was like within the first month. And I remember talking to Sam one day, and I was like, I don't know what it is, but my brain just can't shut off. And I feel like I'm constantly going, and like, I'm literally laying in bed at like 12 o'clock, voice messaging people on Instagram. And my fiance's like, go to sleep. And I was just constantly working, and I felt like I had to constantly be doing something to run my business. And Sam was like, you need to take a break. You need to slow down. You're going to get burnt out within your first month. And I was making them sales, and I was hitting them bonuses and getting all the free products. And I was going really good. And then all of a sudden it just kind of stopped. And there was like 2 weeks where I didn't make a sale at all. And my paycheck was like $30. And I'm like, okay, what is this? And so that's when I texted Lindsay, and I'm like, I'm kind of mad because I'm not making any sales. It's been almost 2 weeks. I've signed up maybe 1 or 2 people, but my downline is doing really good, and I'm proud of them, and I'm like still pushing them. And I think honestly, having them to be able to push and tell them every day and talk to them and be like, look, if you feel like you're not doing good in the business, it's okay. Just keep posting and keep talking to people and keep doing what you're supposed to do. Your IPAs every day. So then it kind of helped me have a little bit more motivation to do that too. And so I think from really just hearing all of our upline, like Lindsay and Katie and Sam and all them, they're always talking about pushing through them hard times. And I feel like with the last company, when I wasn't doing good, I just completely gave up. And I'm like, I'm not doing this with this company because I know how it is. I know the products are amazing and I want to be able to reach out to other people. So that is like my biggest thing is like, if you're going through that time in your business where you feel like you're not making any sales, you're not succeed, you're not doing what you're supposed to, like selling wise, you just feel like your business isn't growing like it should. Don't give up, don't stop, keep doing them IPAs, even if it's like Lindsay and them said, 1 or 2 a day. I get up at like 6:30 before the baby gets up. I do, just like Lindsay said, a solid round of IPAs. I try hopping on that call at 10, 11, 12 o'clock, doing another solid round of IPAs, and then normally doing it in the evening, and that's it. And it's really helped me because I'm not as overwhelmed trying to do so many in a day. And I honestly think me doing it so much in that first month, it did burn me out. And then there was those 2 weeks where I was posting on my story, but I would post it and just completely forget I posted an opportunity post, and people probably answered back and I never reached out to them because there was just so much going on. And so now with a lot of time management and trying to figure out what works for me, it's definitely picked up more. And just even taking Lindsay, the other, 2 Lindsays is confusing. That Lindsay, after talking to her and just talking about like following other people and doing reach outs and stuff has definitely helped pick back up. So that's my biggest thing. So if you're going through a little time in your business, don't give up. Keep doing IPAs, keep listening to your upline and taking their advice, and just don't stop.
I love that. And I love listening. Every time you voice memo me, I just always listen to them back and back because your accent. And Rob's always like, you listen to that already? I'm like, yeah, I'm just kind of listening to her accent. It's fine. Didn't really listen to the first one. I was just kind of like her accent. So every time she talks, I'm like, I love accents. I don't know. I'm sure other people do too, but I'm just like, it's so calming. Anyways, okay. So what I want to talk about from that is what you touched on about sharing an opportunity story. Something that I've learned about you is that no matter what is going on, every single day you use your stories and you use your social media. And any single time I've ever looked at your stories, not saying that every single day you've had one up there, but every single time I've looked at your stories, there has been an opportunity story on there. And I want to, and I don't need anybody to raise their hand or call themselves out like publicly, but I want every single person on here right now to ask themselves if they have put a new opportunity story up on their story in the last 3 days, like made a brand new one. And then even more than that, have they not only mixed in their life, so it's not thrive, life, thrive, right? It's more like thrive, life, thrive, right? Okay, now that we have that nice little lullaby in our heads, the point of it is, I need you to kind of have a self-realization and ask yourself, 1, have you made new stories? 2, do you post an opportunity story every single day? And if you shake your head yes, then I also want you to ask yourself, do you share your life every single day, or are you only sharing thrive? Because when I talked about this a little bit earlier, I said, I'm not glued to my phone because I'm busy living. Think about it. Did you get into this business because you wanted to be glued to your phone, or because you wanted to have more life, because you wanted to have more options, because you wanted to have more opportunity to not have to be glued to something? So for me, when I think about this opportunity and I think about the products and I think about sharing it, I know I'm going to share that through living my life. So, and that's what my stories show. Are every single day they always full? No, because I mean, I have an almost 1-year-old and life, like, let's be real, life. But I always share both. I always have an opportunity story up, and I always have my products in the morning up. And then the rest of the stories are random stories throughout the day. And then another thing I wanted to touch on, I'm going to go to Jenna because and I'm glad because I wanted Jenna to end this, is for opportunity stories. If you find that polls and like question boxes aren't working for you, I love to just put the DM box, because something that it is if they click it, it literally sends them to your DM. Or sometimes they don't think like to click it and they just DM you. to me, that either way, they end up, if they want questions, they have anything, they end up in my DM, right? Like that to me, I'm like, okay, so we're all going in the place that we want to be. Perfect. So a tip is I've been using that a lot lately and it has helped. Another thing is if you're struggling with making opportunity stories, I know my downline in Limitless, I shared like 5 generic ones that all you have to do is copy and paste your pictures on. Use them. Please use them. And then even more than that, take some of the ideas of the wording, change it up, and put them onto pictures. The same way of the videos that I shared in all the team pages, I shared how to create stories, how to copy and paste, how to use the different, like the fonts app, and I have different apps, how to add fun things on there, how to add stickers. I shared those in 2 different videos on the team pages. Use some of those ideas, not just for a new customer or a new promoter or a new post story, but opportunity stories. Use those, create some new ones. And if you're struggling with words, watch your leaders' stories and see how they're wording things and remake them. It's not copy and paste if you're not like literally copying and pasting, but you're taking some of the ideas of the stories. Like if I'm talking about not cold messaging in a story, and I know I made a generic story about that for you guys, but if I'm talking about not cold messaging in a story and you're like, oh, I love that, great, go and make it. Like it literally, when I see those stories that you guys remake on your stories, and I had this conversation with Sam today, I literally like hard-eyed her and she's like, I'm so sorry I copied yours. I'm like, you have no idea how happy my heart is right now. Like I am so happy. Why? Because you're getting uncomfortable. I didn't start out great at stories. You know how many stories I remake of Christina Brill? And if you're not following her, you should probably go and follow her because her stories, like her content, her wording, it's amazing. Don't ask me how she does apps and stuff because again, not a tech-a-weenie, but I love the concepts. So I go through and I take some of her concepts. I'm her enroller, I'm her leader, and I lean down on her, just like she leans up on me and she leans down on her downline. Jenna is enrolled through her, not even enrolled through like, well, you're on my team, but you know what I mean? Like Christina is her personally enrolled sponsor. Words are hard, y'all. And she always tells me all the time that she leans down on Jenna. It's a thing. We're a tribe, support each other. So as to the how, if you guys liked any of the stories and stuff like that I created and that I did, let me know and I can make some new ones. If you guys have any needs for other how-to videos, tell me and I will make some more. It's just a simple screen grab. If I'm making an opportunity story one day and you would like me to show you exactly how I like pick colors and make it look a certain way, like I can do an entire screen grab of that. I just need you to let me know. Great. You love the op stories? Okay, I can make more. They're easy. It was so easy. I just literally did it on Instagram. So I can make more if you guys want more. I have no problem doing that. And then if you guys need any how-to tutorials on anything that I do, just let me know and I can do a screen grab. So this is going to end with Jenna. And I'm very excited about this because something that a lot of people don't know, well, they might, if they watched your store or your video in the team page, is for a very long time, she had no products, no sales, no team, zero, like all the way around. Big zero all the way around. Like, and it's okay because you know what? She grew from it, but she I don't have an Android, love, so I don't know how to do that. Maybe somebody who has an Android though can, but I have an iPhone. If you need an iPhone one, I can. Sorry, I just saw that comment. I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. She grew from it, and not only that, she went 4K twice. Not once, but twice on her and her boyfriend's account. And she's not too far off from hitting 12K here soon. So something that I want to talk about is not really the mindset side of it, because I feel like you did an amazing, amazing job. Like it gave me chills. Anytime I talk to you, I just kind of get chills and it's just calming. She's also who does all of my readings. If you're into like tarot card readings or you have crystal help and you need advice, like go to her because she's like my calming, like, whoosah, she's fine. It's like, she's who I text for all of that. And so just go to her if you ever need it. But I want you to kind of touch on, if you don't mind, the how you market, like how you did your marketing, how you showed up on social media, how you did IPAs with no products, no customers, and no team members, yet went 4K twice after all of that. So I would love if you can give the how behind the like practical version of that, if that makes sense. You know, my like words are hard. Wait, you're not, oh no. I can't hear you. Hold on. Oh no. Oh, that makes me sad. Can you, oh shoot. I was really excited. Could you try and log out and log in for a second? Okay, see if that works. Sorry, y'all, technical difficulties. She is in Canada. I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't know. Hold on, let's see if it lets her back in. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Bear with us. If not, I will have her go live on the team page and chat about this. Let's see. Maybe I can call her. Hold on. Let's see if I can call her and put her on speaker. Y'all, we're gonna try everything right now. We're gonna do the most. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Oh, I see her. No, still answer your phone.
Okay, can you hear now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna mute myself on the Zoom.
Can y'all
you
hear
did it.
her?
Okay, you're clear.
Yeah, okay. Go
Everything's
ahead.
okay? You're so smart. Okay. I don't know why the audio's not working, but it's all so, okay. Channel or other business with no product. This is actually funny because Lindsay, is it good? Okay, so yeah, it was honestly like it was testing. Okay, it definitely tested me. There were times where I was like, okay, I don't know if I can do this kind of thing. But again, we're not going into mindset. Tangibles. Really, honestly, down to the T. I had to check myself, and I went, is our whole business running about our product? Like, do I need to post about Thrive all the time? Just like Lindsay was saying, it's Thrive, Thrive. So I checked myself, and I went, okay, well, if it's 20% Thrive and 80% me, that 20% I can borrow, right? Does that sound weird? So what I did is I would go to my upline, Christina, or anybody in our chat, like our sideline sisters, like anybody at all, and I'd be like, girl, do you have a photo of those capsules? Can you send me a photo? Do you have a photo of the shake? Can you send me a photo of the shake? And multiple girls, like within 2 seconds, I had like 50 photos of the product, and already in their team chat, tons and tons of content, and I would save it, and I would create it in my own way. I would, again, put different gifts on it, flip the photos, put my own preset on it that I use. I would make it my own, and the 80% without my product was me, right? Like, I was sharing my life. I wasn't talking about Thrive. I would be sharing everything and anything to do with me. And at the end of the day, what I found was so important for me was making those genuine relationships with people, making those heartfelt conversations. Because if I, I was selling the product because, again, I was borrowing and creating my own content that way. But again, I was like more focused on me, that 80% of me, and how I could connect to other people, how I could make relationships with other people. So I would sit down and say, what do these women really need to hear? How can I really help the woman on the other side of that screen? Because at the end of the day, yes, it's important to get your products up on your stories and all that, but at the end of the day, what people are truly going to connect to is you and your story. Because you can post all day long about how great your business is, how you're living this amazing life, X, Y, Z, but how can you help me? Like, girl, that's great, you're living it up over there, but how can you help me? And so that's that's what I did with my tangibles. Really, I posted in the frame of mind of I need to post what they need to hear. So that 20% of product I borrowed. I went in the team chat. I took that content and made it my own. I went and watched those trainings. I got creative. And I just knew, okay, it's 2 customers until I get my product. 2 customers until I can get my product. And if I can share that 20%, borrow it, create it, mix it up, make it my own, and then share that 80% of me and how I'm able to help other people, I do this. So that's exactly what I did. I went and created my own content from my girls. I'd be like, please send me photos and do it. And I can promise you right now, your team will as well, because it's just the community that you have here. So that's exactly what I did. I really just controlled the controllable. Like, oh, Christina got that stuck in my head. And that's exactly what pushed me, was to control the controllable. I knew I had no product, and I knew I wasn't going to get it until I got my customers. So what could I do? Control the controllable. There's always a way, and that way for me was getting creative, borrowing that content, making my own, and genuinely creating relationships with people. And at the end of the day, creating those genuine relationships, it's like a broken record, we say so much, right? But that's really what drew people into my business. They didn't care that I was maybe a couple of the same photos of capsules. They didn't even notice, right? Like, they were to ask me, what are you doing? Why do you look like you're so happy? Like, what is your secret sauce that you're on your stories every day so around like this? And like you said, guys, I showed up every day and no customers, not one. Okay, not like, oh my gosh, not like promoter, like nothing. Like, I was just going with, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And those tangibles are what made it happen. It's taking that action is what made it happen. So I hope that answered the question. I don't really know how to mute myself since we're on a phone call, but
I just hang up on you. Thank you so much. No, thank you so much. So I don't know if you guys heard that as well, obviously, as well as I did, but she amazes me every single time, honestly, because I remember when Christina Brill messaged me and she was like, I have this girl who literally has no products and she shows up harder than some of my girls who literally bought a $400 pack. Like, I want you to think about that. Here's a girl who has 0 customers, 0 promoters, 0 products, and she has more fire under her butt than somebody who bought $400 worth of products. So I want you to kind of, and this is that point where I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to do the how and the practical side of, if you had no products tomorrow, what would you do? Literally, what would you do? And then I want you to ask yourself tomorrow morning when you wake up, are you doing all the things you can do with the fact that you have products? Are you making new content? Are you making new posts? Are you sharing them in your stories? Are you doing X, Y, and Z? Or are you just kind of making your activate and then just making your activate? Right? If you sit here and you can ask yourself, okay, if I ran out of products tomorrow, which I pray to God nobody does, because that would just be miserable, but truly ask yourself, would you work your business tomorrow if you had no products? Or would you just be like, I don't have anything to post? If you think that tomorrow, if you ran out of products and you don't have anything to post, you don't need mindset help, right? You don't need motivation. You need discipline, because the point of it is you are given so many, not only shown how in different areas, but given so many different techniques of how to work in your stories, how to do this, how to do that. If one way isn't working for you and you feel like you aren't enrolling promoters or you aren't enrolling customers, switch it up. Your business is not glued or set into cement. You can change it. You can alter it. You can switch. I don't know how many other synonyms or whatever the word is for change it I can use. But if you feel like something isn't working for you, if you feel like doing IPAs all day long aren't working for you, guess what? Do 1 round and then switch to non-negotiables. If you feel like you don't have a lot of people in your inbox sending you messages, I want you to ask yourself when the last time you did a solid 3, 2, 1 was. And this is something that I got, I think it was Christina Burrell who said this on a Work With Me Zoom. And then I kind of switched it around and used it for a different way because I love the fact that she mentioned it for interactions. And I like how I do my interactions. So instead, I switched it to be one of my non-negotiables. And what I do is I go into the following on my Instagram, the people I'm following. I go to the, you know how there's that circle with the up arrow and the down arrow. I click that and I filter, whatever it's called, to latest, meaning the people I just followed like 3 seconds ago. And I make my way down that list doing 3, 2, 1. 3 likes, 2 comments, 1 interaction in their story. And you know what else really helps me with that is if I don't have a dang thing to do 3, 2, 1s on them for, I unfollow them. Why? Because if I don't have anything, if they're not using their stories, how am I going to interact with them on a normal IPA round for stories? If they don't post and they don't have anything that I relate to on their posts, how am I ever going to sit down during an IPA round and interact with them? I'm not. It'll be forced. And the minute that you're doing IPAs so many times in a day that your interactions are forced. Hold on, my mom is trying to call me. Sorry, y'all. Welcome to my life. The minute that you're sitting down and you're trying to do forced interactions, that's when that value gets lost. That's when that time of your like, people aren't interacting back to me. Are you doing it like they're, and I think Sandra was the one who told me this. She told me I interact with people as if they're sitting down on the couch next to me. It's as simple as that. I don't try and make it complicated. I don't try to do anything. I talk to them as if they were sitting right next to me on the couch and I wanted to ask them a question. Ever since she said that to me, I was like, wow, like that makes so much sense. That's how you add value. How many people do you do that for approximately? For my 3, 2, 1s, I don't have a set amount. And this is another thing that I wanted to kind of touch on and then we'll end it. Just because I have lots of other training ideas for more practical things around these topics in the next month or so. But I don't set an amount for anything. I don't set an amount of follows. I don't set an amount of interactions. I don't set an amount of stories. I don't set an amount of, I don't know, anything else that we do that you can set an amount for. What I do is I time block. I give myself like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever amount of minutes that you want to give yourself. And I don't recommend doing any longer than like 5 minutes. I mean, maybe 7 if you don't have kids, but 5 minutes. The reason I say that is because you're going to get into a routine of just sitting there and going through and going through and going through, and they lose the intention. They lose the value behind it. When you're doing 3 to 5 minutes at a time for things, 1, you're going to notice you get things done quicker. 2, you're going to notice that you actually build more relations and more interactions with people because you're not just like, okay, I need to interact with this one. And now I need to interact with this one. And now I need to interact with this one. And now I need to find something that I relate to with this one. You're literally looking at their page. Nope. Okay. Unfollow. Nope. Okay. Unfollow. Yep. Okay. Great. I like this. And it's coming to your head as if they're sitting right next to you. When you set a number, if you say, I'm going to do 10, 3, 2, 1s or 10 interactions or 10 follows. A lot of times you literally sit there until you do 10. And then you find the first 4 might be great, like actually adding value, intention, because you're like, oh, I'm just getting started. And then you're like 20 minutes into it and you're sitting there and you're like, I just want to be done with the last 6. Okay, great. This person has a dog. I'm allergic to dogs and I like cats, but let me just tell them how great their dog is. Like, what? Why would you do that? Just because you want to get a person interaction done. That's not how you're going to build a business. You're going to build it with how you're doing things, what you're doing with them, not how quick and how many numbers. Remember, people are heartbeats, not volume, not a sale, not numbers, not a paycheck, not any other amount. They're heartbeats. And every single person's heartbeat is different. Every single interaction is going to be different. So if you ask somebody, and I get asked all the time, what do you normally talk about? What's your script? What's this? What's that? I don't have one. I'm human. I literally have a conversation with someone, and if I don't have anything else to say, well, then I don't say it. Like, people are always like, what do you do if the conversation's ending? I end the conversation. I don't force it, because the minute somebody sends you like okay, like you send them information and they say, okay, and then you're like, well, and you're word vomiting more information at them. Babe, they said okay. Like, they got it. My response to an okay would be, great, let me know if you have any other questions, with a heart, peace out. Like, obviously I'm not saying peace out, but like, then I leave the conversation, right? I get out of the inbox. And then if they say, okay, sounds good, I just heart it. Why? Because why continue to drag something on? You just let them know if they have questions. They just said okay when you sent them information. And even more than that, I know I said I was going to end it after that, but my brain is going now. When people ask you questions, stay out of the science. When somebody asks, and I'm a nurse, y'all, so when people ask me like, why do I like Black Label? Well, I could tell you all of the ingredients of why I love Black Label and why I am not a batshit crazy, like, well, I probably am, like, let's be real, I am. But I got oils and all that different stuff for that now. So we're working on it over here. We're getting better. But I could tell a lot of people why I love Black Label, why I love the ingredients in Black Label. But I'm sorry, if someone my mom's age were, and my mom's friends ask me all the time, my mom was like, why do I love Black Label? And I'm like, Mom, because like, you're not batshit crazy. I'm not batshit crazy. It's great. She's like, oh, yep, that's it. Instead of me saying, well, it has this, this, and this, and this, this, and this, and this, this, and this, and then that, and that, and that. And but like going into the scientific, so easy to literally just say why you like Black Label. Why do you take our vitamins in the morning? Me, they are literally human jumper cables. So when someone asks me why or what it does, I'm like, oh, girl, human jumper cables. Never been so awake in my life, and that's coming from somebody who used to drink 7 to 10 cups of coffee a day. Tell me that doesn't make it more relatable than me being like, well, it has this vitamin and this and this and that and that, and then it works with your release rate and your absorption rate, and then this, that, and then first pass, and then y'all, think about it. Really, really think about how you're having conversations, how you're approaching people, and how you're talking to them. Are you adding value? Are you trying to carry on conversations? Are you giving it numbers and telling yourself you have to have 10 interactions or 10 follows or 10 3-2-1s? Or are you genuinely just doing it how you like it and keeping it fun? The minute you take the fun out of it and you give it numbers, and the minute you put the science into it, if you're not a huge science person, that's the minute that it becomes overwhelming and you stop adding value to your network of why people aren't joining you, why people aren't asking you more questions. Because even as a nurse, if Em were to have given me this long drawn out thing, and trust me, y'all, when I started, I sent people a long, like literally this long, shit you not, this long, that I used to send people. And now almost 3 years later, they message me and I scroll up and I'm like, wow, that's super embarrassing. Because now my response is like literally a sentence. Like, think about it. Even as a nurse, if Em would have sent me a thing this long instead of just telling me why that she feels amazing on it. I remember when I asked Em what it does, she literally told me it makes her feel like a superwoman. I said, great, sign me up. Think about it. So I'm going to leave you guys at that because I don't want to just keep going and going and going. I could talk forever about stuff like this. So let me know what you guys want more help with. Let me know if you guys want some more generic stories. Let me know if I can do any tutorials on anything. Let me know if I can help with, I do want to do an updated conversations training kind of to take off from where we kind of ended here and stuff like that. And I want to pull in some more people. So just let me know what you guys want and we will make it happen because I want to do more practical. I want to do more hands-on. I want to do more how moving forward to end this year because I feel like We need a lot more how, because we know how to grow our brains, right? We know how to grow our mindset. We know how to tell people to goodbye, Karen. Okay, Karen. See you later, Karen. Like, sit down. Like, we know how to do that now. Now we need to know how to show up every single day, but more than that, how to actually apply the things. So if you're struggling with your 5s, if you're struggling with IPAs, if you're struggling with non-negotiables, if you're struggling with 3-2-1s, if you're struggling with adding value, reach out to your enroller. Reach out to, if I am your 200K, reach out to me. If I'm not your 200K, reach out to your 80K or your 200K and ask them and just say, hey, can you tell me your 5s list? I just really want to narrow down my 5s list. I really need some help kind of talking about that, because I can tell you right now, my 5s list is bullet points and it's not sentences. Bullet points. So if you're overthinking your 5s list, you're probably overthinking a lot of your content. So again, sorry, I got off on a tangent, but I love you guys. I will see you guys next Monday, and yeah, have a great week.